وقل رب زدني علما.
Then we have the Tafsir course. The Tafsir course is a one-year program, okay? And the way it works is that we try to cover the whole Quran within that year, but we focus on the important fundamental topics addressed by the Quran. So it's more of a thematic tafsir. It's not an ayah by ayah, word by word tafsir, okay? That maybe we can do sometime in the future, and that wouldn't be suitable in the English language anyway, because the Quran, if you want to learn it in a detailed manner, it should be done through the Arabic language. But what's important for us, or for those of you that don't speak Arabic, the important thing is that you get the message and the guidance from the Quran, and that's what we're going to focus on, inshallah. So it's going to be like a high-level overview, and then we take selected ayat that would bring over, or that would deliver the big idea, okay? We would talk about that portion of the ayat in a more general sense, okay? However, we'll also have a post-lecture after the tafsir lecture, a post-lecture workshop, okay? This workshop is going to be in Arabic. So feel sorry for those that don't understand Arabic yet. Inshallah, sometime in the future you will. But we want to focus on implementing the grammar principles that most of you have learned. I mean, I think a lot of you have learned Arabic before. That's actually a good question. Let's pose that question on WooClap, right? I'd love to know, right? If you've learned Arabic before. So have you learned Arabic before? So that's a yes and a no, and then inshallah after that we might maybe pose another question to look at your individual levels, inshallah. So inshallah, just answer that question on the poll. Have you? Yeah, it's going to be on WooClap, inshallah. Okay. All right. So it's a yes or a no. I don't think I added the yes and the no. 1 second. So we have the yes and we have the no. Okay, so yeah, you'll find on WooClap. Have you learned Arabic before? One person said both of us will join the same link. I do always advise that every person should join with his own email address and his own link so that they get their own copy of all the learning resources, inshallah. I know sometimes members of the same family, they join together, but then as those of you know that have studied with me before, we use Google Classroom, and you know, if you want to be marked on your homework, you're going to have to join with your own account. Type. Okay, so yeah, so just over half of you have learned Arabic before. Okay, so now inshallah, let's see what your level is, right? Let's see what the level is. So that's going to be the next question, inshallah. What level do you think you're at? Okay, so let's say, what is your Arabic level? This is important because that will allow us to know how to cater. Okay, so I would say total beginner, right? Let's say someone who's knows a bit. So we got total beginner. We have what do we call that? Intermediate. And we have advanced. Yeah, and then let's just say near native or native. Okay. So what's your Arabic level? Total beginner, intermediate, advanced, or near native? Okay, so mashallah, most of you seem to be either total beginners or intermediate. Okay, mashallah, we have a near native individual, mashallah, Allahumma barik. Okay, so basically, For those of you that are total beginners, inshallah, you'll benefit from the Quranic Arabic course a lot. And so will those of you that are intermediate. But those of you that already have some exposure to Arabic, you've learned some Arabic, you've done maybe the grammar books before, like Ajrumiyyah or the likes, then this particular post-lecture workshop that we're talking about for tafsir would be suitable for you. Because what we would do is, basically what I've noticed is a lot of people, they learn grammar. A lot of people learn Ajrumiyyah, they learn Medina books, yes, and they've got background knowledge in grammar, but they never practice. There's a lot of theory, a lot of passive learning. So this particular workshop, we would go over the ayat that we've done in the general lecture, and then try and implement these grammar principles, do a bit of i'rab. Okay, and we would study that portion that we've done in the general lecture on an ayah by ayah basis. Okay, and we'll try and understand it in Arabic. So if you have a little bit of background in Arabic, there's going to be some words you don't understand. We'll translate it word by word and explain the grammar concepts and the grammar and the sentence structure so that you understand the ayah in Arabic. That's the goal, inshallah. But then, of course, a basic level of Arabic language knowledge is required for this particular workshop. If you don't have it, you just want to join, ahlan wa sahlan. We won't turn anybody away, but that is the sort of person it's catered for. So we have the general lecture, focus a lot on the meaning. And then we have these workshops, inshallah, where we, mashallah, dive in and try and implement. And not only grammar concepts, actually, but also gonna look at other concepts, other things that we've learned before. Like, for example, the things that we know when it comes to usul al-tafsir, the principles of tafsir. We'll look at the ayah, be like, okay, which principles apply to this? So this workshop would mainly be like anything that we've learned before, we would implement it. Okay, more like a practice workshop, okay, through the Quran, okay? That's the tafsir course, okay? So the post-lecture workshop, I haven't decided on it yet, but inshallah, I'll take your input when it comes to that. We might maybe put a poll out later on, maybe in the Telegram channel. Either we can do it straight after the lecture, yes, or we can do it at another time. Okay, so we'll look into that, inshallah ta'ala. We'll look into that. These are the Quran courses.